you want to have programs that are matching the future need for workers in Ontario, and you want to match people up with those jobs. At the same time, this is like a personal reflection, I guess, but our son is a stonemason, and he did a program at Algonquin College in Perth to be a heritage stonemason. He works up at the Parliament buildings, does fine stonework, but they just shut that program down in Perth, Algonquin College did, along with several others. And so now, if you want to be a heritage stonemason, there is no program to go to in Ontario. And it's a job that exists. There is a need, but a limited need for it. Is that part of the college mandate to fill those little gaps as well, or is it required these days, because of the way government funds things, to go larger scale?
I think it's about looking at the marketplace and how, Fleming can offer the skills that are required. So in the example of your son, if there's a skill that's required, then obviously we need to make sure we're fulfilling that. All I'm saying is it can't be every college in Ontario trying to fulfill a very small need. So we can't always be duplicating what other colleges are doing, and we need to find our place in whatever that should be. That's a very important program and a very important skill. We just don't need to have 10 colleges delivering on it. And if I could use the example of our heavy equipment program and our blasting and our drilling, on the blasting and drilling, we are like the only college in Canada that delivers on that. So, I don't think you'll see a lot of replication of it because of the cost and the investment, but it's about not duplicating and trying to find our place.
And that would be a relatively small program for you, I would assume.
Over in Lindsay?
Yeah, depends on what you call small.
Relative to enrollment in other
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's because of the type of
the nature of it.
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
Just there aren't that many jobs out there. But that's not something you would ever consider shutting down. Then, even because it's too small. We can't put resources into it. That sort of thing.
Listen, we're a long way from shutting programs down. I think the early days for me are about understanding what we do deliver, making sure that what Fleming delivers and what is needed for the future and what the gap is, that we're in a position to fill that gap. And I think that is probably one of my early learnings at Fleming is, we've, for all good reasons, managed to continue along. And often we have programs that other colleges have, and we need to think about how we differentiate ourselves.
Initially, Maureen, I can remember, it seems to me back, and it was a very different environment in Peterborough then. You had a lot of community needs growing out of the industrial base of Peterborough.
Yeah.
And I can remember there was an advisory committee, I don't know if it still exists or not, made up of industrials and people in Peterborough to sort of identify what the community needs, because they were community colleges. And I guess initially they were trying, to some extent, to meet the needs of the communities in which they found themselves. Now it's going beyond that now, clearly.
It's gone beyond that, but one of the things that we're going to start early on, in fact, this month in November, is a strategic planning process. And this is a strategic planning process that will involve the businesses, involve communities. We need to hear from the businesses that are hiring our students and beyond, and all of the other related kinds of services that are needed. And what I hope to achieve with this process is to really gain a lot of those insights from the folks that are hiring our students, and from, even from our board, which is a group of very skilled individuals. I get a lot of good advice on the kinds of things we need to think about.